Welcome everyone to another special episode of Geeks on the Round Table. Every show is special, as I usually say, and of course, as always, I am not alone today. I am accompanied by my very good co-host Zach Pope. How are you doing, Zach?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm excited to do another podcast. Like I've said, it's my favorite thing to do every week, even though because I was filming something. Oopsies.
No worries, dude. Honestly, I started messaging you because I was worried if you had another power outage or something of the sort.
Oh, I know.
Thankfully,
If my Wi-Fi goes out this week, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Because last week they interrupted us, and you know what they told us? They're like, we're trying to make it better. I'm gonna tell you, it still has not fucking been better.
Well, now the whole world knows as soon as this show goes up on the air, everyone will try to make it actually better for you. And of course, me and Zach are not alone either today because we have a very special guest. He just joined us this past Sunday for our Avengers Endgame live watch along. And we got Brett Murphy from BamTube TV. How are you doing, Brett?
I'm doing excellent. I'm a huge fan of the podcast, and I'm so happy that you guys asked me to come on, especially a subject that I love to discuss. So I'm super pumped to get into today.
Yeah, today we're talking about porn.
Exactly.
Now?
What better subject could there be?
Yeah, yeah, it's the best subject ever.
We're
But
gonna-
like.
I
Yeah.
was just going to say we got to create a spin-off to talk about porn where we're just outside the round table because it's a very prestigious
Yeah,
place.
it's called the Sex Dungeon.
Exactly. We got to go
Yeah.
to Geeks of the Dungeon and of the Sex
Yeah.
Dungeon, and we got to do that
Yeah.
one as well.
Yeah, Margot Robbie's down there.
Hey,
Right?
hey.
Hey,
All right.
hey,
Yeah, demonetized already.
Give me
Like, what are we, 30
guys.
seconds in?
I
fuck
call
it.
dibs on that.
Hey,
Respect the bro code.
Fine. All right, guys. Well, with every week, we like to catch up, kind of have some fun, see what everyone's been up to. Ren, what have you been up to this last week and so?
Well, I've been just watching movies, watching TV shows, same old. But I gotta say, I actually was meant to talk about this one last week, but I completely forgot. I binged with my flatmates the Netflix reality show Too Hot to Handle.
Is it good? I
And
haven't started it yet.
I gotta say, I kind of liked it. And I didn't want to, and it's reality show. What can
That's
you
the one
expect?
when they're like,
Yeah, on an
they can't have
island.
sex, right?
Yes.
That's the one. Okay.
Yes, and I find myself right now following a meme page of Too Hot to Handle memes. It's just trashy, but it's so addictive. There's one person in there that I actually liked because this one actually has the hook of quote unquote having people grow in their approach to relationships and to other people. So that's something different, but I really didn't want to like it, and I liked it, and I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself.
Hey, you know what though? Talking about ashamed, the Hollywood reviews came out today for that Netflix show. I loved it. Everyone else fucking hates it. Which
Really?
Oh, that sucks.
yes,
I saw your
you know
review
what?
drop. I didn't get to watch it yet, and I was genuinely excited for it. Like, I love Ryan Murphy, and I was excited to see
See,
this.
I don't like
Really?
Ryan Murphy.
Me
Really?
That's
neither.
why I wasn't excited for
Interesting.
the show. No, but I
And
still
then you
wanted
ended
to
up
see it.
liking it. Hmm.
I think a lot of it is because I love the era.
Mhm.
Um, and I like how he plays around in the era with, say, inequality and race. And I like that type of stuff. I
Mhm.
like how he played around with it. Some people might say it's a little superficial, but you know what, like, how deep can you really get when it's not a show about getting deep into Hollywood. It's a freaking entertaining. It's entertaining. Like that's what it was made to be. You know what I mean? And I was reading some reviews and they were like saying this and that, and I'm like, that's everything else he's ever made. Did you expect anything else from him? Like it. So, but I was surprised that this was the one thing because I like American Horror Story. I think some
Mhm.
seasons are really good and some seasons are fucking garbage.
That's me, yeah.
I didn't finish The Politician. I thought that was kind of boring. Um, what was American Crime Story? I've not seen, so I can't speak on that. I didn't like Scream Queens, but this was, dude, I'm not joking. I put on the screeners and I sat down and binged it in one sitting. I
Shit.
watched. It's
Wow.
only 7 episodes, so I watched 5, went to bed, woke up, finished 6 and 7, and
Wow.
I like. I really liked it. There are some issues with it. I think it actually could have been longer, to be honest, but I thought it was fun as shit. Like it's really fun, and you're gonna hear this name come movies now. Jeremy Pope is
Jeremy Pope.
phenomenal. He's
Hmm.
phenomenal in this. He comes from Broadway. He is superb. He's the best part about it. Even though Samara Weaving's in it and I love her,
She's
he's
like
the
the
best part
main
about it.
draw. Yeah, that kind of caught my eyes. Well, see, that caught my eye.
I'll
But
tell you that
yeah.
she's not the big. I mean, she's the main character, but like out of all them, she's probably the least one they focus on.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely it's Jeremy Pope, Darren Criss,
Chris.
Camellia, the girl from Spider-Man Homecoming, Laura Harrier,
that's it.
and there's one other actor in there that I don't want to say who it is because I didn't know he was in it.
Mhm.
And he has a storyline with someone else in it that I don't really want to discuss too much.
Okay.
But I will say if you guys like the first season of American Horror Story with Dylan McDermott, he has a character in here that steals the whole show. Like
Okay.
Okay.
he's not like a major character. He's like one of those side characters that has all the great jokes. He's very not despicable. He's just disgusting, like what he does for a job. But it's fucking fun. I didn't even know it was Dylan McDermott until like maybe like
Wow.
3 episodes in. Like he is that unrecognizable. So freaking good, man. I liked it a lot though. Everyone should give their thing. And then like I'm also watching the Eddie right now, the Damien Chazelle directed 2
Right.
episodes of a new Netflix show. Pretty good so far. I'm only like 2 or 3 in. It's a little slower than I thought it would be, but you can definitely tell Damien Chazelle directed the first episode. Like from the way it feels like his very first directorial debut with Whiplash.
Mm.
So I dug it. Is it working?
How about you, Brad? What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot, honestly. I've been stuck in my house for like a month now or more with all this quarantine shit going on. So it's just been same as you guys, just like a lot of movie watching, a lot of video game playing, and I have this like giant watch list of things that I'm ashamed I haven't seen yet, and I've just kind of been picking away at that as much as possible, and also introducing my siblings to a lot of movies that they've never seen before, like they've never watched, like the Indiana Jones movies or like the Hobbit movies, and just little things like that that I think they'll kind of enjoy that are a little more age appropriate, we'll say, and just different things like that. Really, just trying to occupy them because we're all bored, right? We're all stuck in the same situation, but that's pretty much it. Just trying to bide my time until this is all over, and just doing the things that I love in the meantime.
Yeah, that seems like to be the best thing. What's your favorite movie you guys have watched in the past week? Besides Endgame. Endgame does not count.
Endgame does not count. Just the other night, I watched the Grand Budapest Hotel for the first time, and I thought that was really good.
Nice.
So
I
that
love
surprised me. So yeah, I was I've only seen a few Wes Anderson movies, and I do enjoy his style, and I heard this one was really good, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I did,
Okay.
or I thought
What
I
about
would, I
you,
should
Ren?
say.
What about you, Ren? What's like your favorite movie you watched in the past week? Besides Endgame.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Ren, did you hear that?
Oh.
Yeah, I unfortunately only caught that I think you've introduced your brother to the Indiana Jones movies, and after that I completely lost it. I was having no feed.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay. We were just asking what was your favorite movie that you've watched in the past week besides Endgame?
Honestly, I watched this little movie, this Scottish musical directed by Dexter Fletcher from 2013, with George Mackay, called Sunshine on Leith. It's set in Scotland, and it's all with music from the Proclaimers, which is the band that sings 500 Miles. It's really sweet. It's really charming. It's my dream to visit Scotland one day, and I love the accent. I love the culture. It's actually really, really good. I was really surprised because I found
Was it like one of his first
the version
films?
of. I think it was his second directed feature. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
I dig it.
semi-recent. I found it because I was on Spotify. I was looking for 500 Miles, the original version, and then I saw this one. And from the poster and all, I thought it was a theater musical. And so I listened to the song a few times over, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I think I was watching John Campia, and a viewer sent him that, oh, because you like Eddie the Eagle, also directed by Dexter Fletcher, you should watch Sunshine on Leith. And I recognized the name, and I was like, oh, that's a film. I can watch it, and then I just watch it.
Nice. That's always fun
Yeah.
when you like discover those like little things. One that you told me to watch was The Willoughbys, which is not my
Yeah.
favorite thing I've watched in the last week, but what a
Yeah.
surprising animated movie. I
Mm.
mean, me and my girlfriend was just chilling, and I was like, and she wanted to read her book. I was like, Ren said to watch this. I'll watch this. Like, if I don't like it, I'll just kind of tune it out and play on my phone. But really cute, really cute. The animation's great. Gave me
Mhm.
vibes of the Addams Family in some ways, and I said this is who should have directed. This is the vibe they should have done with the Addams Family animated film.
Yeah.
It didn't feel cheap. It felt really well. I really liked it. If we're talking about films though that I watched this week that Bad Education was great. Bad Education was
That
riveting as
education was so
all
good.
freaking good. I loved it. Which now I'm excited because I bought Thoroughbreds.
Ooh,
Which I've
you
never
haven't
seen.
seen Thoroughbreds?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So I'm
I
excited to
I
watch
like
that.
Thoroughbreds. I like Thoroughbreds, but I liked Bad
Bad Education
Education
more.
a lot more.
Sweet. And then I also watched the first Harry Potter because I'm starting a Harry Potter marathon, and that movie's
Ooh,
that movie's
nice.
so good, man.
That one always
So
hits
good.
home.
Yeah, it's so nostalgic. I mean, it's a total classic. It's a total
Yeah.
freaking classic.
For
I love it.
for me with that one too, I find that one captures like the magic of the series, if that makes sense the most. I feel
Mm.
like from that point on, it's a lot more into the story and a lot more into the characters and what's to come and stuff like that. But I find that first one focuses a lot on like Hogwarts and kind of
Mhm.
Mhm.
discovering everything about the magic
Totally.
world or the Wizarding world. So yeah, it definitely holds that nostalgic
Totally.
place in the heart.
Which is funny when I do my ranking for the Harry Potter and Hogwarts franchise. Many people make fun of me because I think Crimes of Grindelwald is top 5.
Oh my
Really
god.
But
interesting. That's
but
definitely an
but
interesting one.
I'm willing to say that if the third one is fucking like just garbage, that all that setup just sucked and it didn't have anything to do with it, then it will just go down to the bottom. It'll go
Mhm.
all the way to the bottom because at that point, then I'm like whatever. Because I like
Where
the
it belongs.
what?
Where it belongs. At the bottom.
Hey,
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. If I feel like if they can do a third one that kind of not only saves, at least in my mind, but can amplify the first two, then I think that you could have a solid trilogy there.
yeah, but
Yeah,
they're coming up.
I
They're
agree.
planning like 5 films though, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
5.
said 5. Hopefully they cut the shit and don't do that because I don't want 5, but I think
I
a
don't
solid trilogy would
I
work.
don't mind 5. Just make them. Don't let J.K. write them. Do not let
Yeah,
J.K.
that's
Rowling
Leave
write them.
that alone.
And I'm even ready to say, do not let David Yates direct them anymore.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
they put
spends.
their faith in them, and now they're kind of,
It's just
they're
a
starting to lose
studio
the touch
machine
a
at
bit.
this point. Like that's what it
Exactly,
feels
yeah.
like. It's a machine. It's like you need to get other directors in there. Like bring back
Mhm.
Alfonso Cuarón. You
Oh,
get him to come back and
absolutely.
do Fantastic Beasts 3. Fuck, I'm all in.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
I think he could even take a decent script because the scripts aren't terrible. They're just
Mhm.
decent and they're written like books. If you took
Yeah, that's
him,
the
dude,
problem.
I think Alfonso Cuarón. If you take a really great director and could really turn it around, I don't see him ever touching the Harry Potter franchise again.
I
I think
doubt
he did
it.
it. That a director I would like to see do Harry Potter though is Del Toro.
Oh, I was thinking that
That'd
when
be
you started
really
saying
cool.
that and thinking of Fantastic Beasts, I was like, imagine that like a PG-13 Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, I could definitely fuck with that.
Well, you know what I
Mm.
could see because we all know they're eventually going to do. We all know they're going to eventually do Cursed Child as a movie.
Mhm.
They're going to,
They
or a
have
show,
to, yeah.
or a show on HBO Max. They're going to do it one way or another to have the whole cast come back. If they were, do you think David Yates would direct it, or do you think they would get someone else to direct it?
I think they would at least contact David Yates
I think
to
so
try and
too.
bring him in.
I would hope to God he doesn't do it. I would hope he says,
Me
"Nope,
too.
I don't want to do it." You know who would also be a really cool director to do it was Sam Mendes. I think Sam Mendes could
Ooh,
kill a Harry Potter film,
that's
man.
good.
I would
That's
love to see him.
really
I
good.
would love to see a
Yeah.
Sam Mendes film. Could you imagine like I mean speaking of Sam Mendes, George McKay? I could see him as a wizard, man. I mean
Yeah.
that would and did you guys
Totally.
know Tom Holland was originally supposed to be the other soldier in 1970?
Yes, I saw that the
Really?
other day.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was but I think was it Spider-Man he had scheduling conflicts with? I
I think so too.
probably
most
was.
likely, I'd think. Yeah, it'd be around the
Probably.
time Far From Home was probably filming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it sucks, man. It sucks. Could have been an Oscar contender right there. Oh well.
Oh, absolutely.
Ren, do you want to get us into this first topic of the day?
Yeah, it's a sad topic that we're starting with. in regards to the topics we're going to talk about that I at least woke up. You guys probably didn't. You probably went to sleep with this news, or it just came out in the middle of your evening. But
Yeah,
I woke up to the sad news that Irfan Khan passed away at the age of 53. That I
great actor.
found out there's no detail about the cause of death. We don't know if it's COVID.
Cancer.
We don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
he had a
cancer.
2-year
Okay.
battle with cancer. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Uh, I mean, just sad to me. He will always be adult Pi in Life of Pi. At the end of that
Can I
film that
admit
he comes
something to
in.
you? Can I
Go
admit
ahead.
something to you? I've
You've
never seen
never
Life
seen
of
it.
Pi. No.
Oh my
Neither have
god.
I.
Oh
Neither
my
have I.
god.
I want to. It's my best friend's favorite movie of all time. And I told him I
It's
want to
really.
watch it, but I also told him I want to because I want the 4K of it. Like I can't I didn't get to see it in theaters, so I want to experience it in the best format I can.
Mhm.
So I said once he buys me it, I'll watch it.
All right, that's smart. It's not like in my favorite movies ever made, but it's a really good movie.
Mhm.
What are some of you guys' favorite memories of Irfan Khan's performances?
Honestly, recently Jurassic. I
Mhm.
think he
Yeah,
was one of the best parts of that recent Jurassic film,
same.
and I've always thought that he is one of the more interesting. Did you ever see the Lunchbox?
Do
No.
not believe
He
lunch.
is so that was one of the first times I had like really like remembered seeing him. He's
Okay.
really good in it. It is a Bollywood film, but just
Okay. That's
I'm
why I
pretty
never
sure it's
seen it.
Bollywood. But I really liked it.
Is it
It was one of the
recent?
first 2013 because I'm looking up
22.
some of his
Okay,
stuff right
so
now. But I remember
semi-recent.
I saw that in a film class and I really liked it. It seems like the last couple of years his career's kind of gone more Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
but another one we got to talk about is Darj. I can't not say it. Darjeeling.
Darjeeling Unlimited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks. I think he's one of those actors that didn't get enough.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like Bollywood, he's a huge star out there, but like when it comes
Yeah.
out here, I don't think he got a bunch of things. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? He deserved more roles than he got.
Yeah. How about you, Brett?
Yeah, absolutely. It was sad news. I hadn't realized either that he had been battling cancer for a whole 2 years, but it does suck because I feel like I definitely agree with Zach that not that he didn't necessarily get a fair shot, but I wish to have seen him in more. And their mainstream audiences are most likely going to know him from The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, and the first Jurassic World, both of them, which I think he was pretty much done pretty quick in those movies. They were only really short appearances, right? But that I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely could have used more of him in both of those movies, and I really wish he got more mainstream exposure because he was able to make an impression in such small roles. Just imagine what he could have done with, a big leading role or something of the
Oh,
sort.
Yeah.
totally, totally.
I agree.
And that's always what sucks about some. I mean, how old was he? How old was he?
53.
53.
See,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
so young, man.
absolutely.
And it sucks seeing like when you see people pass away, especially like actors that you've like watched and then you go back and watch their movies and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, they passed
Yeah,
away.
it's a
Like
lot
it's hard for
harder.
me to watch Robin Williams movies, to be completely honest
Yeah.
with you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
That's the hardest one. I think that's what's the hardest celebrity death? I think Robin Williams for me is probably the hardest one.
Either
Or
Robin
Carrie Fisher.
Williams or Carrie Fisher for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher, and I'll throw Paul Walker in there because I grew up watching the Fast and Furious
Yeah.
movies,
Mhm.
and I still enjoy them, and especially the way they concluded Seven, it breaks my heart every time.
Well, it's funny. I remember when I found out he died, I was
Hmm.
working on a register and this lady in front of me was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe the guy from Fast and Furious died." And I said, "That's probably like a behind this, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's sad, but like it's not like one of the main cast." I went on my break and I saw it was Paul Walker. I'm like, "Fuck." There was
yeah,
not a dry eye in that theater for Furious 7 though. I can
not a
definitely tell you that.
chance.
There was not
Mm.
a dry eye in that theater. It's always sucks when we lose people that we associate
Yeah.
life with and everything. So, Ren, take us to the next topic, my friend.
All right. The next topic is a little bit more cheerful, or at least it's fun to talk about. We're going to still be talking actors because Zach sent me the other day a thread on Twitter which talks about casting actors, which is like one of the most overlooked processes or
Yes.
parts of the process of making movies in Hollywood. And there are some here that I knew about. They're very infamous for what almost happened. Then there are others that surprise me. I'm going to tell you all of them, but I'm just going to ask you guys if you knew about this one or not. If you did, we're going to skip to the next one and go that way. When we find one that we didn't know, we'll talk about in a little bit more depth. So the first one, of course, Emily Blunt was almost cast as Black Widow for the MCU. I
Yeah,
knew that.
Mhm.
I think
same.
Zach knew that. I think you knew that, Brett.
Yeah.
This
Well, and
one,
she's like,
Yeah.
well, kind of sticking on that real fast. This is why I still believe that she's gonna be Invisible Woman.
Hmm,
I still believe she will be Miss Fantastic because they wanted her for this. They also wanted her for Captain Marvel, and that
Mhm.
didn't happen either. So
mhm.
they've wanted her twice. Again, she's eventually gonna find this role. And some people say that she's getting too old for. No, no,
No, not a
it's
chance.
CGI now. It's CGI now. I mean, to be honest, Robert Downey Jr. didn't retire because he can't play Iron Man. He retired because he's been doing it for 11 years. You know, I mean, look at Hugh Jackman. How long was he Wolverine for? Just saying. Do you want to go to the next one, Ren? Is it
Yeah.
lagging again for you?
Sorry, I lost you for a
No, you're
second there.
good. No, you're good.
uh, but all right, I agree with you that she's going to eventually find a role, especially because now she's again in the Disney family with Jungle Cruise. So it can't be hard. It can't be hard.
No, no.
This one, I knew that the next one I knew that the actor who eventually got the role, Christian Bale, wasn't the first choice, but I didn't know who exactly they approached. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Edward Norton, and Ewan McGregor were approached for the role of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. How do we feel about those choices?
I didn't know any of them. What about you,
Mhm.
Brett?
Yeah. I didn't know either, honestly. I think any one of them would have fit, but of course, American Psycho now
Yeah.
being what it is, Christian Bale was, obviously the best possible choice. But it would have been interesting to see almost an alternate reality to see any one of them take on that role.
Yeah.
Which one would you guys would have wanted to see? I'm going with DiCaprio. We've never seen him do something like that, so that's
Hmm.
what I would want to see him do.
Honestly, between the other three, my favorite actor is DiCaprio. But for this role, I'm going Ewan McGregor.
I was thinking the
That's the other
same
one,
thing,
yeah.
actually. I think Ewan would have been really, really interesting in that one.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be really different for him as well.
Mhm.
totally,
Um,
man, totally.
the next one is about the character of Celeste in Vox Lux. Did any of you guys see Vox Lux?
I
I
did
did. I
not.
liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I liked it
I
a
did.
lot.
Unfortunately, I wish I
You didn't
hadn't.
you didn't like
Um,
it? You didn't like
no,
it?
no, and I
Oh, I
saw it in
liked
a
it a lot.
meeting with the director. The director was there,
Oh,
Oh,
that's
fuck.
awkward. That's awkward.
and I was like, I like Natalie Portman.
She is great in that movie. She is great in
she
that movie.
was really good, and Jude Law as well. But before she got the role, apparently Rooney Mara was originally cast. She eventually had to bow out because of other other stuff, but she was actually cast in the role. How do you guys feel about that?
Um, I mean, I'm not shocked that she was originally cast. Seems like a role that was perfect for her, but I'm glad Natalie Portman got it. I'm glad.
Brett, if you have anything to say, given that you
uh,
haven't seen the movie.
no, I haven't seen the movie. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think Rooney Mara is a fantastic actress, but so is Natalie Portman. And having not seen the film, it's kind of hard to gauge. But I think both of them probably could have got the job done equally as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, did we lose Ren again? Oh no, he's there. Okay.
you were lagging for me again. Okay, sorry. Um, Okay, the next one is Tom Holland on 1917. I'm glad this one personally didn't pan out, and we got Dean Charles Chapman to play the second fiddle to
hmm
George Mackay, which was actually a surprise, but I think that was a better choice.
Really? See, I actually wouldn't have cared if Tom Holland got that role. I'm really just hoping Cherry this year is really good. To be honest, I really
Is
hope
it
this is
this
the one
year?
that's gonna say supposed to be.
Oh,
It might
okay.
not be anymore, but
Yeah.
I'm something just tell. I'm gonna say this right now. I love the Russo brothers. I don't think that I'm glad they're not writing Cherry. I'm excited to see what they can do with Cherry. And I think Tom Holland's gonna kill it as a performance. It's a
Mhm.
film I'm worried about. And I'm going to say this right now. If Cherry is not received well, the Russo brothers will go back and do a Marvel film or a Star Wars film.
Oh yeah,
Actually, I wouldn't be
100%.
surprised to say they'll do the next Star Wars film. They will do the
Hmm,
next big Star Wars film.
okay,
So, because
Brett.
I think they've even said in interviews that even though they're huge Marvel fans, they're bigger Star Wars fans.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
would be interesting to see for sure. I mean, obviously,
Mhm.
and Disney has faith in them, right? You have Infinity
Yeah,
War and, of course, Endgame, highest grossing movie of all
Endgame.
time.
Yeah.
Disney will give them any property, guarantee. If they ask for it, they would get it.
yeah, I agree. The next one is it's a voice performance. Miley Cyrus was supposed to be Mavis in Hotel Transylvania. I really don't care either way about this one.
Yeah, I
Nah,
don't see
she
that would
got
have made a
fired for
difference.
posing alongside a penis-shaped birthday cake. That's cool.
Uh, that makes sense. Uh,
Yeah.
the next one was Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon and Drew Barrymore were originally offered the role of Sidney Prescott in the Scream franchise, but obviously that didn't pan out. How do we feel about that?
I'm sad because my mom looks like Reese Witherspoon, so my mom would have been in Scream.
Brett?
I'm okay with it, honestly. Of course, spoilers if you haven't somehow seen Scream at this point, but having Drew Barrymore cast in it anyway, and then having her be offed within the first like 10, 15 minutes of the film was one of the biggest shock openings, not even just in horror, but possibly in movie history. She was the only really notable actress in that film. So for them to pull the rug right out from under people like that, to me was so cool. And I think it
Yeah.
really, it gave who ended up taking up on the role, it gave her a lot more mainstream exposure, and I think she was definitely the right choice. So I think they took it and approached it the right way.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, same here. All right, this one to me is the most interesting of the bunch. Michael B. Jordan was originally approached to play Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, but he had scheduling conflict with Josh Trank's Fantastic Four,
Oh,
so
poor
he had to turn
bastard.
down the role. I honestly, I have conflicting feelings about this one because Michael B. Jordan to me is the better actor between the two, and this is not throwing shades at Corey Hawkins at all. But I think Corey Hawkins is much better suited for the role, as we can see in the movie, and he really looks like Dr. Dre.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm glad this didn't happen. I'm really glad. I
I
think Michael B.
agree
Jordan would
too.
have been good, but the one thing I will say about Michael B. Jordan, and I love him as an actor, I always only see Michael B. Jordan. I only see
Oh,
Michael B. Jordan. I love him as an actor. Besides Creed and besides Killmonger, every other role I've only seen Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Hey,
oh,
I
So
definitely agree with both of you. I think he, in general, is the better actor, but I think when it comes to Straight Outta Compton, everyone that was casted was perfectly casted. They looked the part, they
yeah.
played the part. The movie's phenomenal, and that's all thanks to the cast, I think, overall. So I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
Yeah,
totally.
I agree. All right, this one is fun because the roles for I don't remember the names, but here they are. Ennis and Jack from Brokeback Mountain the actors originally approached for this were Joaquin Phoenix and Matt Damon, Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and Ryan Philippe whatever, and Mark Wahlberg. I want to see this movie with DiCaprio and Pitt, dudes.
Yeah, I think that so out of the bunch, two would have been. I think the most interesting one would have been Matt Damon and Phoenix,
Yeah, that's
personally.
interesting for sure. Yeah.
But I, anyone else I don't think would have fit in the role. I think it's perfect as it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. It's just DiCaprio and Pitt, man.
I know, I know. I have the thread up too. The one that I'm actually really interested in talking about is the Uncut Gems one.
Oh yeah, I was just about to go
So,
down to that.
Brett, did you see Uncut Gems?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times now.
Okay,
Do
you
you like
like it?
it?
Oh, I love it all. Personally, I
Same,
don't know you guys. The way you
same.
guys are like, have you
I
seen it?
love
Do
it. I
you
love
like it? I'm like, yeah, I
Zach
like
loves
it. Do
it.
you not?
Zach loves it.
Yeah,
You're in the
oh,
majority.
yes, I know. I really, really enjoy it, honestly. It's probably my favorite Adam Sandler performance, but I guess that's not really saying much given his filmography.
Punch,
But
Punch Drunk
yeah,
Love, man.
I
Drunk Love.
didn't love that movie. I really didn't. I thought he was okay in it, but the movie overall, Philip Seymour Hoffman was my favorite part, hands
Fair
down.
enough.
But other than that, it was just okay to me.
Yeah. So the guy who's originally supposed to play him was Jonah Hill.
I saw that, which
I don't like that. I
I
don't like that.
I don't either. I think Adam
about you, Ren?
Sandler was definitely the right choice.
I don't know if I like it, but I'm so curious to see it, dude. Like
So
I don't
so
like
I
I don't like Uncut Gems. I actually
Mhm.
really hate it. But
Hmm.
Sandler is one of the few things I do like about the movie. I actually really, really like him in that film. But I just look at this at these pictures side by side, and I'm just curious to see Jonah Hill's take on it.
So for me, this is the reason. So like one, he didn't do it because of mid '90s. He was directing it. Makes sense.
Still
I
haven't
don't.
seen
To
it.
be honest, I don't see Jonah Hill. Oh, you haven't seen mid '90s? Fuck, dude.
Not
That's like
yet.
one of my.
That's
I'm
another
gonna be
really good
honest,
movie.
dude. That's one of my favorite films of all time now. I love that
Really?
movie.
Shit.
It's like top 20 for me. I fucking love that movie. Now a lot of it's nostalgia because shit that kid did, I used to fucking do.
Mhm.
So I literally saw like myself as a child. So
Yeah.
sorry, mom, if you're watching this. But I loved what he did with that movie. But this is kind of off topic. I do not think Jonah Hill acts really anymore, and I think he goes straight to directing. I think that's
Mm.
all he does from now on.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
and I wouldn't mind to see it either. I'm in the same boat as you that I really, really dug mid '90s. It's not one of my favorite of all time, but it was definitely one of my favorite of that year. And I think, yeah, I'd love to see him take on. I don't ever want to see him go to like, big budget films. I think he should really stick to what he knows and stick to kind of lower budget storytelling indie films. Because if he
Mhm.
keeps pumping out stuff like mid '90s, then I'm completely there for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. The next interesting one. Which one do you think it is, Ren?
You're probably looking at the one right below the Uncut Gems
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't like it at all, but
I don't like it either. But go
So
ahead, tell us what it is.
so wait first. Have you seen Call Me by Your Name?
I have. I love it.
Okay. And what about you? Have you seen Call Me
I
by
have
Your Name?
not. I have not, sadly.
Fucking amazing.
I've
So it's a little
heard,
bit
yeah.
harder to talk about, but for our audience sakes, for people who have seen it, the role obviously went to Armie Hammer, who plays Oliver, but it was originally supposed to be Shia LaBeouf. I cannot see that at all. I
Me
cannot. I know
neither.
Shia LaBeouf's a great actor. I do not see that at all, and I think that's real. I'm really glad that did not happen. I'm really glad
Same.
that did not happen.
Same.
What's the next one you had? What's the next one you had, Ren?
Okay, this is I won't say this is the most interesting one, but it's just curious to me because I would have reversed this if it was possible. Like I like even love the majority of the Disney live action remakes. Let me tell you that right now. I absolutely despise the choice of Beyonce playing Nala. She was the worst part of that film in every regard. She is not an actress, ladies and gentlemen. And she was supposed to be Plumette, the little feather duster in Beauty and the Beast. That role
I agree.
eventually went to Gugu Mbatha-Raw, and honestly, I would have switched these roles. Could be because Beyonce would have fit much better in a supporting character that only has highlights when she's singing. That's what she does well. And Gugu Mbatha-Raw is a great actress. I would have loved to see her take on Nala.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
I
think
agree.
that's,
I
yeah,
100%
very,
agree
very
with you.
solid, yeah.
I didn't. Did you in the Lion King? I didn't feel that. Like when you hear Beyonce and Donald Glover are gonna be duet together. Oh man, it's a heaven. But it didn't sound in heaven, to be honest, when I saw
Nah,
it.
nah, she just
Yeah.
takes it too far.
Hmm.
What's the next interesting one for you?
For
I say we
me,
do two more. I say we do two
all
big
right.
one, two more in this.
You want to take the next one then? I'm going to do
Uh
a very known one.
oh, okay. So the one I actually want to do is the Emma Stone one.
Okay, you're gonna. Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
So I don't hate this movie, just so everyone knows. I
Me
like it.
neither.
It's fine. You know what I mean? I think it got too much hate. The Paul Feig's Ghostbuster, Emma Stone was originally supposed to play in it. She was supposed to be one of the main girls. I have a feeling she would have been Kate McKinnon's character. I think that's the one she would have played.
I think she would have been the Kristen Wiig character actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, I thought because the only reason I say Kate McKinnon is because I thought Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy were the first two casted from the start,
Mm,
That's
and
what
then
I
yeah.
thought too.
and then Kate McKinnon came later. I could be wrong, but that's really what I thought. So,
Hmm.
Okay.
but it's interesting.
But honestly, I only see her playing either one of those two. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
see her play the Leslie Jones character or the Melissa
No.
McCarthy character, but I could see her playing either the Kate McKinnon one or the
Mhm.
Kristen Wiig one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love Emma Stone. But what about you, Ren? What's the last one you want to discuss on here?
All right. The last one we're going to do is related in a way to Emma Stone, and we're actually this one, the one I'm looking at only mentions one of the movies, but there are actually two movies involved. Because originally, for one of my favorite movies of all time, La La Land, Emma Watson and Miles Teller were supposed to be Sebastian and Mia, but Emma Watson turned down because she had Beauty and the Beast, while Ryan Gosling turned down Beauty and the Beast because he had this one eventually. And of course, we know Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone starred in the film. But what do you guys? I personally think it worked out for the better
I
in
agree.
every regard.
I
But
couldn't have
what are your
seen.
takes on this?
I could see Emma Watson in the role,
Mm-hmm.
but not. But I could never see Miles Teller in that role. I could
Yeah.
never see Miles Teller in that role. But I think Emma Stone. I mean, nowadays I look at it, I'm like, I couldn't see no one else playing this role other than Emma
Yeah.
Stone.
100%. How about you, Brett?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what Zach said there. I think Emma Watson, I mean, obviously, they definitely, the way they went was the best way possible. I could see Emma Watson and Emma Stone, like, subbing out there, but I do agree that Emma Stone was a better choice. But yeah, I definitely do not think Miles Teller, as much as I like him as an actor, I don't think he would have fit very well at all. I think
No.
Ryan Gosling really, really took on that role and made it his own, and I can't see anyone else taking on that part.
Yeah,
Yep, I
I
agree.
agree.
I
Agree.
agree.
All right, guys. There's many other interesting takes on this. So there's a full thread on Twitter, so you can just go find it. Right now, we're going to go to our next topic, which actually kind of has to do with casting, but
Yes.
supposed casting.
These are
And
rumors.
yeah,
These are like rumors. Do you want me to
yeah,
set it up, Ren?
yeah. Set it up because you sent it to me. Go ahead.
So there's this guy on Twitter who will post stuff and it'll be like years out and he'll be right about Marvel films. Like Endgame, he had posted stuff about Jarvis, the guy playing Jarvis was going to be back. He posted about Thor being fat. He posted little bits and tidbits years before and they came out to be true. So, but he's also had a wrong record. So, like, he's also talked about Guardians 3 saying how Nebula and Star-Lord are going to be some of the main characters. He also said that Rocket, the reason when you mentioned, I think you mentioned Rocket getting his girlfriend, he also mentioned that Rocket will get the Sea Otter in the next one, and that Drax, his daughter, might still be alive, and that will be a big part of the next one. That could have changed because that's been a while. That was like 5-6 years ago when the first script was written, but he posted some rumored names for Norman Osborn. One of these I've known for a while, and I don't remember the name particular, but it's the governor from The Walking Dead, David Morrissey.
David Morrissey. Yeah.
And then the other name rumored for it was Bob Odenkirk, Saul from Breaking Bad. I love both of them, and if either of them got the role, I would be all for it. I still want Matthew McConaughey. I think Matthew McConaughey would be the best pick for Norman Osborn in this world. But I can't deny that I would love to see David Morrissey kill it as Norman Osborn. And I could also see Bob Odenkirk after Better Call Saul coming out as Norman Osborn and just nailing the role. I think they would have to change his look just a bit. Just because every time Bob Odenkirk always looks the same. So I think out of the two, I'd probably prefer David Morrissey. But Norman Osborn, man, I am all for it. And I think in this role particularly, you don't. The only thing is, I would love Matthew McConaughey, but he is a giant actor, and a lot of people would just see McConaughey. So that would be the reason that I would say not to go. And that's why I see them going with these two other actors, because they are more that next under tier right under Matthew McConaughey. And that's also why I probably wouldn't want Bob Odenkirk, because he is a great actor. He could probably, but all I've seen him always is Saul. I've never seen him as someone else. I know he has an action thriller coming out next year.
Ooh.
If that turns out to be pretty good, then I'll believe it. But if I just see Saul Goodman running around with a gun, I'm not gonna be for it. Ren, Brett, what do you guys think about this?
Go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead. All right. Between those two, I'm actually going the reverse of Zach. I think I'd rather see Odenkirk flex his more serious muscles. I know we've seen him go serious for Saul, but he's always kind of has those witty remarks and stuff. So I think I'd like it to see him take it full serious. I like David Morrissey, but I mean, the only thing I really remember him from the most, at least, is from his stint on The Walking Dead, and I always found his acting to be a bit wooden to me. So I don't
Really?
see him as Norman Osborn, but I guess if I saw him in a few more things, my opinion might change. But I found him as the governor was a bit too wooden for Osborn. I'd love to see Odenkirk take it on. I think he's a fantastic actor, but like I said, I agree that I wouldn't want it just to be Saul, but a different name. He would really have to dive into it and take it a lot more seriously, and cut out the witty remarks and stuff like that. I do like
Mhm.
McConaughey, but I agree with you again there that people would just see Matthew McConaughey. So if I were to fan cast it, I think I would go with another AMC alum, which is funny because like you got Morrissey, Odenkirk, but I honestly,
Right.
since we never got to see him as Lex Luthor, I would love to see Bryan Cranston as Norman Osborn in this world.
Ooh.
That's a great one, man. Um, I
Yeah,
man, I can't
you
deny that I
mentioned
would
that
love
one
to see
as
that.
well, Zach.
Did
When we
I?
started talking
Yeah.
Norman Osborn, you mentioned Bryan
Oh
Cranston
yeah,
as
yeah,
normal
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
loved it. I
Yeah.
I
love
I
it, man. I love it.
I will go with Zach in regards to I would prefer Morrissey over Odenkirk only because I think Norman Osborn should be physically imposing to Peter Parker. And I'm not saying Peter Parker is the size of Odenkirk, but he clearly hasn't the same build as Morrissey. And for those who agree with Brett in regards to his wooden performance in The Walking Dead, which I haven't seen, so I'm not commenting on that one, but watch a show. It's a really small show, only 4 episodes, called The City and the City.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what it is about. Just watch it. Uh, but he's really good in that. But when Zach sent me this, I gave him a suggestion, which was cast Morrissey as Norman Osborn slash the Green Goblin, and then cast Odenkirk as Spencer Smythe, the creator of the
That
Spider Slayer,
that'd be
Okay.
and you already knew a new story to go on there, and then he eventually cast his son's Alistair.
Hey, you know what's funny? We haven't talked about the Spider Slayers. That could be for Spider-Man 3. If you really
Yeah,
think it, that could be Spider-Man 3.
true.
Also, breaking news: Charlie Cox comes out and says, "No, I will not be reprising my role as Daredevil. If Daredevil is in Spider-Man 3, it will not be with me."
Aww,
No.
So, I mean, he
Oh,
could be just playing face, but he sounds
true,
pretty serious in
but
that
not
this.
sucks.
not surprising at all. But
Yeah,
really,
I'm not surprised. Obviously, I think that if they were to bring
I'm
the
telling you right
MCU,
now, I
they
think
do
I
someone
think it's
else.
stupid. I think they're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
There's not
because
a
Charlie
you cannot tell
Cox.
me a
Ugh,
single reason why you cannot bring him back. There's not. I do
exactly.
not understand the logic in that. You can literally just say it's in the universe. You don't have to address anything else if you don't
Mm,
want to.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's just the truth. You could bring Charlie Cox in. You could say it's a different multiverse. There are so many different things you could do. And I get it. They didn't create those shows, and it's probably. I think a lot of it's Kevin Feige saying "fuck you, Perlmutter. I'm
pretty
gonna do my own
much.
thing. I'm gonna take your characters and do what I want." But
Mhm.
Charlie Cox,
I'm
man, in
telling
that
you, I'm
role.
telling you,
Oh,
I don't. I don't care to see Daredevil. Then you gotta wait. I think if they're not using Charlie Cox, you have to wait.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe like 4
Especially,
years.
I still see people pissed off about Daredevil's cancellation, and if they were just to like next year throw him in Spider-Man 3 and be someone else, I think people would lose their shit, like
Yeah,
not
maybe
in a
it's
good
Bob
way.
Odenkirk. Maybe Bob Odenkirk is playing Charlie Cox. He's already played a lawyer. He could do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's one I think people would only see Saul if that
Mm,
happens.
totally,
Uh,
man.
but
Totally.
but
Do
all
you want to
right,
jump into the Oscar talk now, though,
yeah.
Ren?
Let's change the gears a little bit. We'll go back to the MCU in a little bit, but right now, some news about the Oscars next year came out. They're going to change things. Some of them I'm okay with. Some of them I'm actually a big fan of. Others not so much. Let's go. We're not going into everything, but it's up on the Academy's Twitter and on their website, so you can go check it out for yourself. Let me start with one that I liked. I know the situation demands it, but even if there wasn't a situation like the one we're living in, I would actually be pretty okay with it. That is, a film must be available. So basically, they're allowing films that have not had theatrical releases to be eligible for a nomination. All they have to do is go on the Secure Academy screening room member-only streaming site within 60 days of its streaming or VOD release. What do you guys feel about this?
So a couple things with that. So I love the idea. I like that they're doing it for this year only. I think it makes 100%. I just wonder though, I still don't think these streaming films will get nominated if they're not in theaters and not pushed as hard. It just depends how a lot of it all comes down to marketing. You know what I mean? It all comes down to marketing. Like a lot of people get pissed at this and this and this film. I'm gonna say this: the reason Endgame did not get nominated wasn't because it was a superhero film. That may be part of it for some people. A lot of it was because they did not push it as hard as they pushed Black Panther. If you went to LA during Black Panther's whole campaigning thing, there was poster on poster on poster on poster about nominating Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing for Avengers Endgame. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
not that many posters. So it all comes down to marketing. But I think this streaming thing does open it up because Warner Brothers was actually really cool. For all critics group last year, they actually made an app. So I had an app that I could watch movies on my TV for their stuff. So I was able to watch Just Mercy. I was able to watch It Chapter 2 again. I was able to watch Joker. What was the Clint Eastwood film? Richard Jewell. I was able to watch
Oh
pretty
yeah.
early. And it was really cool for voting purposes. But I'm going to be honest. They didn't send me screeners for some of those films, and I forgot about them because it's
Sure.
not physically in front of me. So it comes
Mhm.
down to that marketing. Because when I'm voting, a lot of time I take all the screeners out, I throw them all on the ground, and I say, okay, there's this one. I really like this one. I'm gonna throw in and that's how I'm remember. You know what I mean? That's how I remind
Mhm.
myself. And then I can kind
Yeah.
of go through some other things, but that's like the easiest way for me to remember. So I like the idea. I just don't think it's gonna change too much. I think the sound thing is actually the bigger news, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
With the
Uh.
likes that there's still no stunts. There's still no stunts. It's
Yeah.
baffles me. Baffles me.
Just quick before we move on to the sound one, how do you feel about the first topic, Brett?
I agree for the most part. It fits this year, right? With everything going on, I think they kind of had to do it. It's really the only way you could go about it, or you're gonna have a very short show, I think, when it comes to the next one. Yeah, and I mean, I agree though too, right? And it's not to say that anything would really change by allowing this, but I think for this year that they definitely needed to do it.
Yeah. All right. The second most important topic, and Zach just
Um,
mentioned it.
do you want me to bring this up because something just broke about it?
Oh
Okay,
shit.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So big thing. So AMC announces yesterday that they will be canceling and not playing any Universal movies as well as other theaters around the world in AMC's block. So they're not playing the Fast and Furious. They're not going to play Halloween.
Hmm.
They're not going to play fucking Jurassic Park. You know, they're going bankrupt. We're not going to play the biggest films in the world. And a lot of this is because Universal had a discussion saying, "Oh, Trolls is the biggest VOD ever."
Yeah.
People don't got to get it's the biggest VOD. It's not going to make its budget back. Like
Yeah.
now, King of Staten Island is now also going to VOD, which I'm really excited about. But I'm also going to say this:
Hmm.
that movie's not going to make $50 million opening weekend. No,
Nope.
it's not. It'll make. I think it could make 10 to 12. I think it'll make 10 to 12, maybe 20, maybe 20. But
Yeah.
I don't see it. And you know what? That's probably all it needs to make, to be honest, to make its budget
Hmm.
back. But Regal Cinemas has now officially sided with AMC against Universal Pictures. This is just breaking literally like 5 minutes
Really?
ago, stating that we
I'm
will not be showing any Universal movies since they fail to respect the theatrical windows as it does not make economic sense for us. That was a direct quote from them.
Yeah.
I'm going to thank you for bringing that up, but we got the topic, and over here the same thing is happening. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But thank you, Zach, for bringing it up.
You're welcome.
And I'm glad the theaters are all thinking the right way. So going back to the Oscars a little bit, the sound mixing and sound editing will be combined and become the one category of best sound. I kind of feel I'm kind of thinking the perspective of the people who work in sound. It feels unfair. It
Yeah.
does. But depending on how they approach the delivery of this award, the teams should be combined in receiving it.
I agree.
Um,
They should all get
but
one. There's
yeah,
usually what two people, so it should be 4 people.
yeah, 2 to 3. Yeah. I think this one makes sense in the context of how the other awards are, but I can also feel how the people in the industry on those departments may feel like this is unfair. How do you guys feel about it?
I don't think it's fair either. I mean, if you've worked, say this was the year that sound mixing, you had done the best work on some film, and then they combine it together.
Yeah.
How do you judge it? Because I think there's two different things to judge it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Two very different things.
So I get the thought process on it, but I've been saying this. I know they're trying to shorten that show, but why don't you just move the films that no one talks about? I get
Hmm.
it's cool to have documentary on there, and I'm sure if I had made a short documentary and I was nominated for an Oscar, I'd want to be. But there's other Oscars that people don't know about that they just don't have on the show.
Hmm.
So take those ones
Yeah.
off. Take those ones
Yeah.
off. Take the live actions off. I know there was rumors, discussions that they were planning on just doing taking out supporting actor, which is supporting and supporting actress, which would be even more stupid. But
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't
I
agree
think
with that
I think it's all
whatsoever.
dumb. I think it's all dumb.
Yeah. How about you, Brett?
Yeah, I'm siding with you guys on this one. I think it's you can see it from two perspectives. I think from the perspective of the show, and again, how they're trying to shorten it and maybe make it a bit more mainstream and kind of digestible for people who aren't as into film as us. But it is two different jobs, and from the eyes of the artist, it can almost be seen as kind of like, disrespectful, and they're just kind of clumping all their work together, saying it's all the same thing. And like
Hmm.
Zach said, right, if you're busting your ass and this is your job, this is your livelihood, and then just to get it kind of all clumped together like that, and you know what I mean, it's just like best sound, and from the eyes of the artist, it's gotta sting a little bit. I think it kind of sucks from them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, now we're going to the one I think really sucks. It's really stupid. Shouldn't be happening. Yet again, here we are. Okay, so from now on, um, all eligible Academy members will be invited to participate in the preliminary round of voting for Best International Feature Film. What that means is that they are reinforcing that you don't need to watch the movie to vote for it or not, which actually really, really, really infuriates me.
I don't know how no one was talking about that yesterday. I have
Yeah.
zero idea how no one was talking about that yesterday because that right there, that's how you get a, a I don't want to say Joker, but you know what I mean. That's how you get these films that no one
You
like.
can't
Because
say Joker. You can't say Joker.
okay, Joker, because I'm gonna tell you right now, guaranteed not all members saw it. They saw everyone else talking about it. I'm gonna vote for it.
Mhm.
And there are articles where there are Academy people who said I didn't vote for this year. I let my maid or my friend vote for me. And
I let my
it's
dog
baffling.
vote for me.
Literally, I put dog treats on actors' faces and said, "Which one do you think should win?" Um, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Parasite. The reason Parasite won last year was because I think a lot of, guaranteed not everyone watched it. I would probably say maybe 50% of the voting body watched it. But
Mhm.
I was the reason I was shocked that Parasite won was because I didn't think they were gonna vote for it.
Yeah, same.
So
Brad, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's the type of thing, right, that it just bothers me that stuff like that happens, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, people still, I mean, I've given the Oscars less and less kind of weight to how I see films and how I feel about films over the years. So to, kind of find stuff like that they're voting for things just because of popularity, or they're just, like Zach said, they're just letting whoever choose. To me,
Mhm.
it's disrespectful to the craft and the people that worked on it, and to the people, the millions that tune in to see the Oscars. And winning the Oscars still for the people that work on these films is, it's like the highest achievement you can get. And the fact
yeah.
that the people that are responsible for the voting basically don't give a shit most of the time, to me, it's just like I said, it's disrespectful, and it really just it irks me, right? It pisses me off.
Well, and
Yeah,
you know what
it
it's gonna come down
really
to now?
sucks.
Best marketing. Who has
Hmm.
the best marketing for
Oh
Exactly.
my god,
international
yeah,
film now? You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
what it's gonna come down to, and that's what's stupid. So
yeah. It
I
just
hate it.
really sucks. But you guys watching this or listening to us, let us know what you think about it, and tag us and tag the show and tag the Oscars so they know your thoughts on this. All
Yeah.
right. So last week, Zach, you, me, Jared Buckendall, we talked about Venom 2. We talked some theories, some predictions. We talked about the stupid ass title that they gave to the movie, which today, by the way, I saw like in Portugal they translate titles. They don't translate movies. They don't dub movies, but they translate things like titles and stuff. And wow, it's really stupid even
What
in the
is it?
translation.
What
So
is it?
basically, it's the literal translation would be, so in English it's let there be carnage. In Portuguese it's the equivalent to there will be carnage. But if you know the language, it's just so stupid for a fucking title of a film.
So dumb. Me and my friend got in an argument about it. He's like, "That's a dope title." I said,
Mm.
"Yeah, if you're 12, if you're fucking 12, yeah."
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, you don't get it. I don't want to sit on YouTube and type in Venom, Let There Be Carnage movie
Exactly.
review, because then it's like, is it Venom 2? Is it Venom Carnage? What are people gonna look up? I don't fucking know. That's
Yeah.
the first thing that went to my mind. Why
Mhm.
couldn't you just do, if you want to do something different, Venom Maximum Carnage?
Yeah, that's the one I'm seeing everyone
Maximum
say
Carnage.
so much better.
Or here's the thing, because the public doesn't even know what fucking Carnage is.
Venom 2. Yeah.
Venom 2
Exactly.
would have made the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
my
even
dad,
more.
it's funny. So I showed, not my dad, my uncle. I talked to him. I was like, he told me he liked Venom. I was like, oh, what do you think about the title? What's the title? I told him Venom Let There Be Carnage. He goes, what? What? I said, yeah, I know. Yeah, Venom Let There Be Carnage. Like it is a cool title. It is totally embracing what Venom is. Like I dig it for that part. I also think it's the stupidest fucking thing they could have ever done.
Yeah. It's a mouthful. And I'm saying it's stupid in Portuguese because the word for carnage in Portuguese is not even as cool sounding as carnage. But anyway, the dates have shuffled again, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about Venom coming out in October, and it's moved to the previous date for the Batman in July 2021. Meanwhile, what was I going to say? Meanwhile, MCU also changed dates. We got a lot of moves. Zach and I were talking all night as the moves were announced. Doctor Strange was at one point moved to the same date as Spider-Man 3. Thor moved up, which is weird. Doctor Strange moved, I believe it was to
To
May.
my birthday, March 25th.
To your birthday? No, yeah, to March, not May. But gentlemen, did we see the dates? What do we think about them?
Brett, you start.
Want me to start? Sure. I think for MCU films, they're MCU films. That's kind of the way I see it. I don't. I think people really used to use the dates to their advantage. You'd have your summer blockbusters, then you'd have your Christmas season and stuff like that. But at this point, MCU movies are going to make bank no matter when they're released. Look at Black Panther, right? Everyone used to shit on like the first 2 or 3 months of every year, saying that like those are always the garbage movies. That's where you send movies to die. Black Panther was a February movie, and it's one of the highest grossing movies of all time. So I think an MCU movie is just an MCU movie.
Well, and it's not even MCU. If your film's good, it's gonna make money.
Mhm.
I mean, Bad Boys this year killed in January. Fucking killed in January. And Doolittle, I mean, was just made for too much, but it made money. It's like the 5th highest grossing film of the year. So if your film is marketed well, if it's good, it's gonna make money. And I think it doesn't matter what time of the year you put it out. So you do make I think Thor being in February is actually a really smart date. It's Thor Love and Thunder. It's the weekend. It's a couple days right before Valentine's Day. Makes sense to go in there. Deadpool killed in that date. The first Deadpool did. Still say Deadpool 2 should have came out in February. That is not a summer film. That is not a summer film. Which is also another reason why I do not think Venom 2 should be in the summer, to be completely honest with all of you. Venom 2, I will not make $800 million in summer. Now, it depends what films go around it. If more films start moving around there, there's no way they got to move it again. They have to move it again. Because that film is going to die in the summer. Morbius moving out of the summer, smartest thing they could have done. That movie was not going to make the 400, 500 million that they were going to need to recap.
Yeah. It's in March as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's in March as well. So that's a smart March is a good date for Morbius.
Yes, it is. March is a good date for everything.
Thing that we haven't said is Uncharted moved up to July. Uncharted moved up to July. That is a smart date. Uncharted is a very smart date in July. I will say though, I hate that Spider-Man is in November. I fucking hate that.
Yeah,
I don't
Spider-Man
like
is a
it.
summer movie.
It is. I don't like it in November, and I get why. It's because the chronological thing of the MCU. It has to go in
Mhm.
a certain order. And Doctor Strange, it was supposed to be what, like the third film in the Phase 4. I'm gonna tell you right now, that film is probably really different now, like really different. And I think Sam Raimi's really changing that film. Maybe we get Tobey Maguire. Maybe we get Raimi type stuff in there. I still don't think so. I think he's gonna do this completely different thing. I think there'll be an Easter egg to it. Bruce Campbell will show up in there some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Hopefully as Fat Mysterio, and that's just from a different
Oh
multiverse.
my god.
That's what was supposed to happen in Spider-Man 4.
What if he shows up as a fat Stephen Strange who failed at becoming a magician?
Dude, I would fucking
Yeah.
die.
He's just a
And I
kid's
can't.
party magician.
To be honest though, I don't want a
Yeah.
cameo. And this is kind of an off-topic thing. I want him to be Mr. Sinister. I think he would destroy that role. I think
Bruce
he would
Campbell?
kill. Yes, I think he would kill as that or Mephisto.
Hmm.
I think we'd
Oh,
kill.
Mephisto was being interesting. I want Ray Fiennes as Mr. Sinister.
Ray
Don't even
Fiennes-
try to sell me on any
Yeah.
other thing.
Well, you know who was actually casted as him? John
Uh,
Hamm was
yeah, John Hamm.
was Sinister for New Mutants, and they took him out.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was filmed and everything. It was literally filmed and put in the first cut of the movie.
What do you think we'll see first, the actual movie or his scenes that were deleted?
Shit. What we even see we at this point?
That's the tough one.
That is the million-dollar
I'm
question.
going to tell you right now, if New Mutants doesn't come out by the end of this year, it will go to Hulu or Disney Plus because that's when the deal ends with
Dude,
HBO.
if it doesn't come out of this year, I don't think it's coming out at all. Because if it's coming out on,
We're going to see it
digital or
eventually.
VO
That's the thing. We're going to see it eventually.
Yeah, but if it doesn't come out before this year, what the fuck is wrong with them? Just release it on Disney Plus or Hulu or VOD, whatever. But before the end of this year, please.
Mm.
They would be smart to take that Venom date. Just let it do one weekend and then be done.
That's true.
That's
interesting.
Dude, imagine if they're like the theaters reopen like beginning of June. They're like, fuck it, just throw it in the end of June. Just throw it in the end of June. Just let it be before Tenet.
Yeah, because you don't want to compete with the Messiah, Christopher Nolan.
I'd
Me
go to
too.
the theater.
I'd
I'd go
go.
to the theater to see
Yeah.
New Mutants. If they
Oh,
announce
yeah.
tomorrow the theater's reopening and I could go see New Mutants, I'm putting a mask and gloves on and going to the fucking theater.
Yeah, same. All right, moving on to the next, our final big topic before we get to what this show is actually about. Zach, you talked about AMC has canceled every Universal movie,
And now
and
Regal.
now other theaters, and now Regal, and now over here Odeon announced it, and over in Portugal, NOS, which is the one big cinema chain over there. We only have two. One of them is really small. The other one is NOS.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane, and I'm fully on the theater side.
I'm here to say this. So in Arizona, there's only like 3 AMC's and 1 Regal theater. A lot of it is all independent stuff. So I'm waiting to see if they participate in it. If they participate in it, Universal has no choice but to do something.
Yeah,
That's just the truth. And I actually think I think by the end of this week, if it continues to be that downward spiral, telling you right now, King of Staten Island does not go out on VOD anymore. They pull that back and then release it later, and they issue a giant apology because the reason AMC did it, and it's not because they did the whole troll, it's because they made comments saying how they don't need the theater experience anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why they're pissed, and I 100% disagree with that because I would love to see Universal put a Jurassic World on there because what I'm going to tell you, this is what's going to happen. Jurassic World 3 is going to go on there. You want to make $1 billion, you ain't gonna fucking make $1 billion because what's gonna happen is
Not even
someone's
close.
gonna record that and throw it on a website, and then if I wanted to, I could go find it for free.
Yeah,
That's just the truth.
and one person is going to pay it, and they're going to invite all their friends to go watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
really
smart.
easy piracy these days, especially now. People are reinventing shit. Brett, what do you think about this, and whose side are you on?
I'm on board with you guys. I'm definitely on the side of the theater. Although it doesn't affect me. I don't have AMC or Regal or anything like that around here in Canada. But, I'm all about the theater experience. I said that time and time again. You'll see me go off on Twitter all the time. Like I said, it's called the theater experience for a reason. I go to the movie theater not just to see the movie, but you love the experience. You love being around the fans. You love being there opening night. The smell of popcorn, sitting in the comfy chairs. It's all about the theater experience. And yeah, it just feels almost like a slap in the face, and especially where so many theaters are in trouble right now, and the economy in general in most places is in its own kind of downward spiral. For Universal to come out and say something stupid like that, I totally agree with the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now at first everyone was like against AMC yesterday
Hmm.
because everyone's like, "You're an idiot. You're going bankrupt." Which, you know what? I was kind of the same way. I'm like, "You are stupid. You are
Yeah,
really stupid for
initially,
saying that."
yeah.
But now that Regal's joining in, and now Ren has mentioned 2 other places, it's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Universal will have no choice but to work with the theaters after that because
Mhm.
they'll have to figure a way to go around it.
And
It's just we're living in an interesting time.
Yeah, and over in Portugal, they've Universal has had a few issues with the cinema chain over there for a few years now. They haven't canceled the exhibition of every Universal Studios movies, but they did not play Hobbs and Shaw. They did not play Good Boys because there was I'm not getting into it right now, but there was a mess over there, and Universal Portugal also was kind of a bitch in that regard. So I completely side with the theaters. They were on the wrong, and they can't admit
Well,
that they were on
yeah,
the wrong. And
yeah.
it's like, how are you treating your business partner
Mhm.
this way,
Yeah.
and why when every other studio is doing the right thing?
And which
Mhm.
we'll say this, like I love Universal movies. You know what I mean? I
Oh
love
yeah.
them, and I just
Oh,
want
dude,
everything to work
same.
together. And
Mhm.
like we're just discussing like we're not going throwing shade at Universal or AMC. We're just saying like we think it's a dumb move. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
the
I get
people
why.
running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get why Universal's saying this. I 100% get why they're saying it. They want to brag that Trolls made more than people thought it was going to. That's why
Mhm.
they're doing it. And AMC took it in a different way.
Yeah.
That's life. It's like high school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the
But
next
all
we got to
right.
go to a
Uh,
happier topic.
yeah. Yeah. If Brett, by the way, what do you have over there is Cineplex, right?
Cineplex, yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah.
I only have one local theater in my area, and as much as it's not bad, it's got like 10 screens, and some of them are half size, like they're a
Mm.
decent size, but like my closest IMAX theater is like 5 hours away.
Wow.
But I
Fuck.
still drove there to see
Damn.
Endgame opening day for
Wait.
IMAX. I
Where
was
do
like,
you
yeah,
live
For
at?
it's
Where
worth
do
the
Endgame,
you live
yeah.
5 hours.
Where do you live?
I'm
Where
in
do you?
Cape Breton, Nova
Oh,
Scotia.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm, by the way, Cineplex was recently bought by Cineworld, the cinema I attend to, because Cineworld is the best cinema.
There you go. We're in good hands then.
um,
So
the ones who inspired AMC to create their AMC, is it Unlimited?
Dolby.
No,
mm,
no, but like the membership thing.
Oh, AMC A
A-list,
plus A
A-list,
list. Yeah.
and Unlimited is the Cineworld thing. But anyway, let's get to our main topic today, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about the
Video
biggest
games.
money makers in Hollywood history. We're here to talk about video games and video game movies. In just a little bit, we will be pitching each one of us our video game dream project. But gentlemen, what are our stances on video games and video game movies in general? Let's start with Brett.
video games in general, I love video games. It's might be a bit more common knowledge now, but I'd say I'm almost as much, if not equal, as much of a gamer as I am a movie lover. I play video games constantly. My first console I got when I was 3, and it was a Nintendo 64. So I love video games. I play them all the time. Video game movies, on the other hand, they're interesting. There's they're not all awful. There's a few that are okay, especially in recent years. There's been a handful that have been decent. For the most part, they're trash, and then there's a few kind of guilty pleasure ones scattered in there here and there.
Mm. Yeah, Zach.
I love video games. I mean, I don't. The one pro out of this quarantine is I've gotten to play a fuck ton of video games, which kind of sucks because once this all goes back to normal, I'm not gonna have any fucking time to play video games. Like I've played the shit. I've like Final Fantasy VII. I beat in like 2 days. I put like 30 hours in that shit, like real fast. I love video games. I mean, it's always been my passion. Like the first like console I had the Game Boy Color. That was like the first main thing that was mine. But my dad had a PlayStation 1, and we would play the shit out of it all the time. And I've always been attributed to like getting hyped about video games and Last of Us 2, I'm so stoked for it. Really pissed that those spoilers went out because I got fucking spoiled, so that's cool.
Oh, I've been able
But
to avoid them so far.
no, some
Me
dick,
too, and I
No.
haven't even played the first one.
no,
Oh,
some
fuck.
dick sent me a screenshot of the ending, the
Oh
last
my
chapter of the
god.
game. That's what pissed me off. Yeah,
What a
so
What the
piece of
fuck.
shit.
fuck?
And I literally saw it, and I said, if that's real, I'm gonna kill myself. Well, I didn't think it was real. But so then I went and looked up everything else, and I was like, cool, that's fucking cool. A lot of people were actually pissed at the decisions they made for that game.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
like that, and that's why I think they're releasing it in June now. I don't think it was supposed to be a June title, but now they're like, we just gotta put it out.
Mhm.
I'm actually shocked they're not putting it out in May, to be honest with you guys. I mean, people are like legitimately fucking pissed at this game,
Mhm.
which it's a different. It's like the Star Wars fan base right now. Like
Mhm.
straight up, like it's like Ryan Johnson came over and took Last of Us, but it's literally the same creators who took this world on. So I don't know. I don't mind the decisions. I just need to see how they like do them. Like
Yeah,
if
in
it
the
makes
grand scheme
sense
of
in the
things.
story context, it works because it's just like some guy leaked like plot points and showing each and everything, but you don't see how it gets there. So
Mhm.
whatever. In general, though, I just love video games. When it comes to video game movies, though, pretty much they're all garbage. There's like 5 good ones.
Mm.
And one of them is not even really a video game movie. It's a video game in a movie, but it's a movie. Ren might
I
know what I'm
think
talking about.
yeah, I think I do. I think I
Uh,
do.
it's called Serenity. It's a masterpiece.
Oh,
If you haven't
not what
seen
I
it
was
yet,
thinking about.
if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Well, there's another Wreck-It Ralph. Is that what you're thinking
Yeah, I
about?
was thinking that one too. That
No,
might
but
be
I
No?
agree with.
considered.
Yeah. So
I was thinking either Jumanji or Ready Player One.
I mean, those are also great ones too. But I love video games. I think there's a way to adapt them. I think the issue a lot of studios have is they say, "Hey, we're going to adapt this exact storyline in there," and that's even though I don't like that they're going young Uncharted. I think that's why I'm also excited because it could be a different story for Uncharted, and it would be fun in that right. I mean, Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as a cast right there, kind of great. I don't love Ruben Fleischer being a director, but whatever.
Yeah. I really like. I've always really liked video games. I don't know if I call myself a gamer. Maybe other people do. I don't think that's up to me personally, but I don't call myself a gamer. But I like video games as much as the other guy. I grew up playing a lot of video games. The first console I got actually was a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red. And I actually was amongst the group of my friends as a kid. I was the last one to have a PS1. And I bought it with the pack that came with Tekken 3, still the best Tekken game up until this day, ladies and gentlemen. And I have Tekken 7, but haven't started it yet. I even have the collector's edition with Kazuya kicking Hayachi in the face. Um, but yeah, I really, really like video games. I'm very selective though. I don't play everything. For instance, I haven't played The Last of Us, but
You should.
every
You
I
fucking
know.
should.
I just bought it.
Agreed.
I just bought it on Amazon. It's
Yeah.
for 15 pounds.
Now's the time, right? Quarantine time.
Um, but it's going to take a little bit until I buy the second one because it's a little bit more expensive. But like, I'm very selective. I don't play everything that everyone else around me plays. I'm very into a specific type of game. But video game movies, I actually think I like more video game movies than the majority. But when it comes to the really bad ones, I probably hate it even more than the majority.
Mhm.
But
Can
we'll
we
get.
can we discuss let's go 5 favorite video game movies and like legit video game movies. It's not a Ready
Okay,
Player One.
that's what I was gonna say.
It's not a
Okay,
Serenity. It's not
okay.
a Wreck-It Ralph. Just 5 favorite ones, and you don't have to give a reason why. Just your 5 favorites.
Okay.
So Brett, do you want to go first?
My favorites. Favorites is a loose term, I'll say. I don't necessarily love any of these, but I did like it as far as I'm aware. It does count. I did like Detective Pikachu when that
Okay,
dropped. Thought that was pretty good.
that
I
counts.
watched Tomb Raider in preparation for this the other day, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than
The
I
new
thought I was
one or
going
the
to. It's
older ones?
the new one,
Okay.
not the Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie one, the new one with Alicia Vikander. I thought that was a lot better than I expected. It's not great, but it's a fun, enjoyable kind of action adventure flick, and it's relatively faithful to the rebooted game series.
I wish it was R.
Um,
That was my only complaint with it. I
that's
wish
what
it
I
was
was
R.
thinking too. I was like, the games are M and the movie's PG-13. Kind of sucks a little bit, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's okay. Um, I'm gonna count this. I'm gonna clump these together as one movie because it's one story. They're all pretty bad, but I honestly watch them probably like once a year, and I know they're awful, but I have fun watching them, and that's the Resident Evil
Oh my
movies.
god.
Oh God,
They're
fuck off.
they're they're bad, but I have so much fun watching them and just laughing my ass off at every single aspect of those movies. So I'll count them as kind of a clumped together, like, shitty kind of guilty pleasure binge. Let's see here. I didn't get to watch Sonic the Hedgehog yet. I did want to watch it. I heard it was good. Um,
Fun.
Rampage with The Rock wasn't too bad. It was an okay, like, fun monster movie. You know what I mean? The Rock plays The Rock. He's Dwayne Johnson. That's what he does. And I guess for kind of nostalgia purposes, even though I know it hasn't aged well, but I am extremely excited for the reboot, and I do like the game series, and that's Mortal Kombat. Not Annihilation, but the first one has
The
that kind of
correct
nostalgia
choice.
factor. Yeah, it has the nostalgia factor going for it. So that'd probably be my top 5.
All right.
You want me
Do
to
you want me
go?
to go next? Yeah, you go first. You go
I
first.
go. All right. So at number 5, I'm gonna say Warcraft. Warcraft is
Yes.
actually pretty
Fuck
okay.
yes. Fuck
I
yes.
didn't love it. I wouldn't even say I like the movie, but it's actually pretty okay. The visual effects in that film are just
Mhm.
they still look amazing today. I mean, it's only been 4 years, but still. Um, at number 4, I'm going to say Rampage. I actually really
Oh,
like
okay, there
Rampage.
you go.
I really liked Rampage. Tomb Raider was actually pretty okay. I'm not putting that on the list, but honorable mention before I forget. Um, I'm going to piss you off with this one because I
Uh-oh.
actually legit like this film. I think it's a
Uh-oh.
good movie. Not great or anything. It's a good movie. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I
I'm with
really
you.
like
Okay.
that.
I'm with you.
I
I'm with
Okay.
legit like that movie.
I legit like that movie too.
And number 1, of course, it's still Mortal Kombat from 1995. That is still the best video game movie ever made. It's not even close. Christopher Lambert's Lord Raven. My God. The less said about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the better. But the first Mortal Kombat's really, really good.
Can I be honest? I like it, but I've never been attached to it. I think it's because I saw it like only a year ago. I think that's
Mm.
why.
Okay.
Even
That
though I
makes.
love Mortal Kombat, it's like my favorite like
Mhm.
fighting series ever. But I think that's why. So my top 5. My number 5 would probably be Prince of Persia. 4 would be the Angelina Jolie first Tomb Raider film. Even though I like them all, that's that one. 3 would have been Serenity, but I can't do that. So I guess I'd say Mortal Kombat. 2 would be Detective Pikachu, and my number 1's Warcraft. I think Warcraft is the most. I think it's like it's literally the video game. It's literally the video game.
Mhm.
There's some small grievances with it, but overall, I loved that movie. I literally loved that movie, and I thought it deserved so much better. I think Duncan Jones killed as a director on that film, and I
Uh-huh.
think a lot of it is studio meddling. I think that movie is straight
I
up
agree.
studio meddled.
Yeah, I agree. How about worst? Can we give a top 3? Let's not go 5, but top 3 worst video game movies
God.
ever made.
You want me to kick us off again?
Yeah, you go
Yeah,
first.
go ahead.
All right. I'm doing another clumping because it deserves it. And this is like number 1. I'll go in reverse order. Number 1, worst
Alright.
video game movies in general. Anything by Uwe Boll. Anything. Hey, you're looking
Alright.
like Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead, Blood Rain, anything like that. I'm clumping all those together because I could take up an entire list of like 50 by him. All of them are awful. Um, I would say, and going back to it now, it's almost kind of guilty pleasure territory, but now that we have the rebooted games, I dislike it even more. And that's the Doom, the 2003 one, or like Doom Annihilation. I love the Doom games, and the fact that these movies are complete shit and have nothing to do with the games at all really bothers me. I don't know what I would do for the last one. I think maybe because I like this series as well, the Hitman movies, they've tried like what 2 or 3 attempts at it
Fucking
now.
3. It's fucking
3?
3?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
there's
thought
and,
we were only
you
3 Hitman
know,
two.
movies.
I think
There's
it
3
it
hit.
hurts
I
more
think there's
when
3
you
Hitman
like
movies.
the game so much, right?
Wait,
So I
no,
would
there
say,
is 2. There is 2.
Okay.
They're still terrible.
right, and that's what I mean, right? It hits more because you could just say like any shitty video game movie, but when you enjoy the series so much in the games and you're excited for the movies, and then they're just like Doom or Hitman, then you're like, well, fuck me, right? What do you do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those will probably be my 3.
I have a lot more than 3, but I'll try and.
Me too.
Dude,
Okay,
just
my
do
number
some clumping.
my number one is Max Payne. I think Max Payne is literally one of the
Right,
most
that's another
fucking
one.
terrible movies I've ever seen. I love that. I will throw I don't want this isn't a worst, but I was looking up some Silent Hill. The first one is actually kind of underrated, to be honest. It's
Okay.
not great, but I think it captured the game. Hitman, I'm with you. Both Hitman films,
Hitman,
garbage. You
yeah.
tried once, it was garbage. The second one was even fucking worse. I don't
Mhm.
get how the problem with all these movies, I think people don't understand, is you can be a guilty pleasure, just film the action right. The action's straight terrible in
Exactly.
all the fucking movies.
Yeah.
The next one would be, and I don't hate this movie, but I also don't love it. It's the Ratchet and Clank movie. I don't like it
Okay.
because they just took cutscenes from the video game and put it
Yeah.
in.
Stitched
that's
it
why-
all together, yeah.
That's why I don't like it. And then all the animation in the middle kind of sucks.
Yeah. I'm going to just throw in an honorable mention to the previous list real quick because I actually did. It's not good, but I actually didn't mind the first Tekken movie. And yes, there are 2 Tekken
I
movies.
don't even remember Tekken.
I don't remember them existing ever.
The,
Yeah.
the first one is actually pretty alright. The second one, woo, Jesus Christ. But as far as worse, I'm not even going to acknowledge the Uwe Boll movies as movies. Everyone knows that Resident Evil is my most despised movie franchise ever made,
Fucking garbage.
especially the final chapter.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it yet.
so
I still haven't
So-
seen that last one.
It's
I
the
think.
dude.
worst one. It's the
The-
worst one.
The longest.
You know what, though? I don't mind the third one.
That's the one that
I
I
don't
actually is like okay.
Okay, the final chapter, but the longest shot in that film is 5 seconds long.
Yeah, there's so
Just
many
so
shots.
you-
The
Just so
fight
you're
scenes
aware.
are fucking
Oh my
garbage.
god, what a fucking headache! I watched that in IMAX 3D. Woo!
Oh,
That was a
God.
trip. Okay, so my number 3, I'm going to say Need for Speed because it's just so fucking boring.
Aw,
Uh,
poor Aaron Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even watch Breaking Bad, and I felt sorry for him. I'm going to mention, by the way, DOA is fucking hilarious. DOA is fucking hilarious. Number 2, I'm going to say Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which Paul W.S. Anderson. And at number 1, because I love the game so much, and the movie had literally everything to work out right, and it was Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Wow, Assassin's
pretty
Creed
bad,
was
too.
really bad.
That's
Yeah.
pretty bad. It's top 10 video games movies of all time, but that's not saying much.
Nope. It's not. I honestly, it's my most hated one, but I probably would put it over there. It just narrowly missed being on my top 10 worst of the year list when it came out.
No, I remember my friend when we walked out, he's like, "Dude, that was a good movie." I said, "You're fucking kidding me." He goes, "No,
No,
dude, that was a great movie." I said, "You're fucking kidding me." I literally said, "You're an idiot. Like, there's no way in hell that you like that movie." But
Yeah.
apparently I'm wrong. He did like it. He bought it.
I have a similar story, but with Resident Evil one. I have a friend. He's one of my best friends, and he loves the franchise. He legit loves the franchise. And when I went to a double invitation for a previous screening of it, I asked him to come with me because I know that he loves it. I hated him already, by the way, before the last one. But we went
Did
in.
you?
We went in. We saw it in IMAX 3D, and his face at the end of the final chapter, it's like he was a baby and someone took a candy from him. He was so distraught, dude. He was like, "Hey, dude, don't let this speak for the entire franchise. The other movies are good, I promise you." And I just kept
no.
laughing.
I have a
Felt bad for
question.
him.
Is there a
Yeah.
movie recently, maybe in like the last 2 years, that you went in and saw and you're like, you walked out and you were just so like distraught as well, and you're like, I can't believe that was that bad. Like, you were actually excited for it or kind of thought it would
Oh,
be
yeah.
good? Which one?
Suicide Squad.
Okay. And
Suicide
Brett,
Squad.
what about you?
Yeah, if you count the DCEU in recent years, I would say Batman v Superman. I was so hyped for that movie.
I'll still defend that film to the day I fucking die.
I like
Not-
the Ultimate Edition. Ultimate Edition, I actually do enjoy. Theatrical cut, watched it once, will never watch it again.
See, I can never rewatch it again because I think the Ultimate Edition is superb. But I remember I walked down. I was the only person that liked that movie. I was like, I liked it. I liked it. It's a mess, but I liked it. The movie recently is Hellboy. I was so fucking stoked for Hellboy. Hellboy is one of my favorite comic book characters. And I didn't love the trailers, but I said bad trailers. I love the director. I love the cast. I love everything they're doing with this. And I sat there like this,
Just pissed.
just simmering of all the exposition happening. I just remember I sat there just staring up at the screen like, I begged to come to the screening, and I can't believe it's this bad.
Dude,
And
I
then I
went to
remember, and then no, and then I sat up when the action started happening. I'm like, okay, it's not too bad. The action actually doesn't look choppy. Okay, now we're going back to the exposition. Then we get to that final action sequence. That's like a one-take shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually pretty cool. And then it ends on the coolest thing possible that we'll never see the ending to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
I
excited
agree. I
for the
went.
build up of that movie.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea. I liked I wish we got a Hellboy 3, obviously, like everyone else with Del Toro and Perlman, but like I was excited for David Harbour when they first released the photo of him. Again, yeah, I agree with you. The director and the writer seemed to be on board. It was going to be R-rated. I was like, you know what, it's going to actually be pretty good. And then when I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, or it might not be.
There's a lot of behind the scenes issues. You can,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. You can see it.
Yeah. All right. Going back. Now we're going to our main event. It's time to pitch our dream video game movie project, whether it be a TV series, a movie, whatever. We are going to pitch you what we want to see, which video game we want adapted, who we want to direct or show run it, whatever, and who we want to cast in it. So why don't we start with our very special guest, Brett? Go ahead.
don't
Sure.
fuck up,
All right.
man.
So
Don't fuck up.
I'll
You
try
got
my
this.
best. I'll try my best. I gotta represent here. Question though, before we get into it, I do have like a full cast list. Do you want just like a couple? There's like only like probably like 6 or 7 names on here, but
You can do
you want
6 or
like
No,
a
7.
go
decent.
ahead.
All right.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Perfect. All right.
Give us
So
everything you
I'll
have.
start with this one, and this is just like an honorable mention. I'm not going in detail or anything, and I know it's one that I think Zach's gonna appreciate too. I would have loved to have seen or to still see the what could have been Gore Verbinski's big budget R-rated
Fuck
Bioshock
you,
movie.
man. You took my fucking thing. I'm done.
I won't go into detail. I won't go
This
into
is
detail because it was
exactly.
supposed to happen, and that's why I didn't want to take it
This is
either because I knew
this
you
is
were gonna
my
say something.
exact one. Fuck.
I won't say any more than
No, no, no,
that.
no,
That's
no, no, no,
all.
no, go. No, 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 go. I can make up another one. Go.
No, that was. I
No,
just
no,
wanted
no.
to mention that one, but I have an
Oh.
actual full one. Yeah, I
Okay.
knew you were
You
gonna say. I knew you were probably
do
gonna do something with
whatever.
Bioshock, and I was like, I think he'll pick something different. But
Well,
like,
because I
I
have
remember.
another one. I had 2 just in case. So if you want
Yeah,
to mention,
no, you go ahead. I just wanted to give a shout out to that one because I remember being so distraught when that it was like, oh, it's gonna happen, and then it's not. Oh, it's gonna happen, and then it's not, and then it's been dead in the water for however long now, and it breaks my heart because Bioshock's my favorite game of all time.
I think
So
eventually we'll get it. I'm gonna be on not with Gore
hope
Verbinski,
so.
obviously, but I think eventually we will get a Bioshock.
I
It'll
really
probably
hope
go on
so.
HBO though. I think it'll be an HBO or I think wait till Last of Us. I think if Last of Us kills it, I think we're gonna like on
Uh,
HBO. That'll be a great one. Just like how they're kind of or like if Eli Roth's Borderlands kills, which I think he's
um,
actually a really good pick for that.
hmm,
I think it'd be interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it breaks my heart because again, I love even the second one, even though it's not great. The second game,
Like
still love the
fun
franchise as a whole.
and
But
Infinite is incredible.
oh yeah, Infinite is top tier of all time for me. But the one I actually have picked that I went into detail with is I want to see an Outlast movie. So if you don't know what Outlast is,
Yeah.
it's an indie horror game. Came out back in 2013, I believe it was. It was on everything. It's like PC, PS4, Xbox. You can get it anywhere. It's like dirt cheap now. They sell it. I think there was a bundle that was just on sale for the original and its DLC for like $4.99. So it's super easy to get. It's got such good quality for the price that you pay. It's an amazing game. And I'll say this: this is why I think this would work best, even just as a movie, and why it was my pick is because most video game movies don't work because they're trying to adapt a story that's too large to fit in like a 2 hour runtime, right? You're taking 10+ hour stories and trying to crunch them in to
Yeah.
such a small time frame, and that's why I think The Last of Us is going to work really well on HBO. But my pick for director, and it was a no-brainer for me, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right though, is Fede Alvarez, who did the Evil
Yes.
Dead remake and Don't Breathe, because you literally put those two horror movies together. You put like the really brutal, disgusting, gore-filled horror from the Evil Dead remake, and then the claustrophobic, tight corridor like portions of Don't Breathe, and you already have an Outlast movie there. So to me, it's like a no-brainer. It takes about 4 hours to beat Outlast if you're new to it. It takes like 2.5 to 3 if you know where like all the keys are and all the stuff you have to
Mhm.
find is. So it works perfectly as like a 2 hour movie, and then you get that director, absolute shoe in. My cast for the main character is Miles Upshur. I picked Jake Gyllenhaal, and again, this is all dream casting. The budget
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't fit this, but Nightcrawler, it works perfectly, right? You got the cameraman who's supposed to be somewhere, he's somewhere that he's not supposed to be. I think Jake Gyllenhaal would be amazing in that. For Father Martin, who's like the main creepy priest looking dude, I would love to see the horror icon Robert Englund take on the role of Father
Yeah,
Martin. That'd be
that'd be
so
cool.
creepy and so cool. For Chris Walker, who's like the really big guy that's on like the poster everywhere, that's like the main guy chasing you. Nathan Jones, Rictus Erectus from Fury Road would be
Nice.
perfect for that, I think. Dr. Traeger, who's like probably the creepiest villain or like top like 2 or 3 of the entire franchise. Dr. Traeger, Willem Dafoe, I think would be amazing as Traeger. Dr. Wernicke, Christoph Waltz for me, that's like a no-brainer. The twins, I mean, you could easily just cast one person and have them play both twins, kind of like like an Army Hammer from The Social Network. But I couldn't decide between these two actors, so I would love for them just to get makeuped up and play one each. But Rory McCann, best known as the
Yeah.
Hound, and Tyler Mane, who played the rebooted
Ooh.
Michael Myers from the two Rob Zombie
Yeah.
films, having the twins chasing you around would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
And then for the opening cutscene, and if they did the whistleblower DLC for Wayland Park, I would love to see Daniel Portman, who played Podrick from Game of Thrones, and for
Oh,
Jeremy Blair, who's like the main CEO douchebag, John Hamm.
I love
nice.
it. I love
So
it.
that's
Nice,
my
dude.
pitch.
All right,
All right.
Ren, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. Honorable mention as well. Do Assassin's Creed as a TV show. It doesn't work as a movie. Don't try it as a movie. Assassin's Creed needs to be a TV show. First 3 seasons, it's Ezio Auditore, and then you have each season a different assassin, and that's it. You got a clean slate at the start of every season. You can even bring new showrunners to each season, and it'll be spectacular. And I actually think Assassin's Creed would work awesome at Netflix. So that's my honorable mention. I'm probably not going to surprise anybody in the entire world, Zach included. Zach's gonna scoff at me. But we are also, as a TV show, we are going to do this one on HBO. This one probably be very well served at HBO. But we're going to do God of War, the original trilogy, the
Mm.
best God of War. And we're going to cast. I was actually going to say. Oh, why am I blanking? Henry Cavill as Kratos, but he already has as the Witcher. I don't want him to kind of play a different version of a very similar character
Hmm.
in terms of his strengths, and I want to keep him free to shoot the Witcher whenever he has to do it. So we're going to cast his DC partner, Jason Momoa, as Kratos. Not my original choice, but my original choice at this point is very old to play Kratos for a lot of years. So Jason Momoa is going to be Kratos. He is explosive, he is strong, he is tall, he is physically menacing, he can do the action. He's great for Kratos. The narrator and the first story of the first God of War, who we eventually find out is the Titan Gaia, is going to be voiced by the sophisticated yet very sexy Helen Mirren. And yes, that tells you a lot about me. Uh, Athena is going to be played by Rosario Dawson because she needs to have a big role in a big show, and she deserves it. She's great. Uh, from Game of Thrones, we are going to have Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Ares,
Hmm.
and my original choice for Kratos, he's too old for Kratos, but he can still play a role. We are going to have Gerard Butler as Zeus. And those are going to be basically our four big characters. I thought of somebody, I tried to think of somebody for the Gravedigger from the first game, but no one really came to mind that I thought, oh yeah, this is the person. So if you guys have any suggestions, I love to hear them. And honestly, the choice for the people who will run this show will surprise you, but I pick the Russo brothers to do God
I
of
like
War.
it. I
Okay.
like it.
And those are
Do
my
you want to
picks.
direct? Where are they directing or show
They,
running or?
they are directing. No, sorry, they are show running. They write and they can direct a few episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
I dig it. So All right. So for mine, I have two, and I have to mention them because I did too much research on this. So I had to pull up all my things. So my favorite gaming franchise of all time is Gears of War. I
Okay.
love Gears of War. I want a Gears of War movie. You mentioned Fede Alvarez. I would want him to direct the shit out of one. I think he
Oh,
could
he
Wow.
could
do.
do
I
it
think him
too.
or Zack Snyder could really do a good Gears of War film. I would prefer Fede
Absolutely.
because I think Fede is the better director. But because the film I would want, and they wouldn't do this, it would go for the big action blockbuster. I would want a Gears of War game or a movie that is taking place not with the cogs, not with the locusts, but like just normal civilians just trying to survive. And
Mhm.
it's on E-Day when all the locusts start coming. And I think that would be a cool survival horror, just like the first game. But if we're gonna fan cast, I want Dave Bautista as Marcus Phoenix.
Mhm.
Done deal. Where's my thing?
Even I understand that
Yeah.
reference.
Scarlett Johansson as Anya.
Okay.
Ron Perlman as General Ram or
Mm,
Rom, whatever you want to say. Emily Blunt would be Queen Mira.
okay.
Now, when it comes to Dominic Santiago, that's the one I was still kind of sitting on, but I would want that to either be Pedro Pascal or Diego Luna. Obviously, they
Yeah.
have to bulk up a bit, and yeah, those are who I had. Now, getting to my actual one, which is fucking Bioshock. I had to do Bioshock.
Yes,
So,
yes.
now I have three director's choices for Bioshock. And I want you
Okay.
guys to choose between them, okay? So, my first one, oh my god, where is it? My first one is Del Toro. Because I would
Mm,
want Gore Verbinski, but he wouldn't. So if we're talking like logistics, what could actually happen? Del Toro, Matt Reeves, or Cronenberg's son, who directed a
Ooh,
film at
Possessor.
Sundance, Possessor. Yes,
I got
they
that one
love
ready to
actually.
watch, by the way.
You
I
have it?
haven't seen. I haven't seen it yet, but I got it ready to watch.
Wait. How do you have it? Is it coming out soon?
Yeah, I got a screener.
Oh, you did. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Do they? Wait. Is there a release date for it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I just got sent. I got sent. I
Oh
got
yes,
sent
there is
these.
now. Yes, there is. January
Is there?
25th, 2020. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait,
Oh well,
what?
there's no. Well,
that
there's
has
no.
passed.
There's no. That's at Sundance.
Oh, okay.
I am really curious to hear your thoughts on that because
Okay.
I hated it at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I've come to love it.
Okay.
So I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I haven't done a video review yet for that, but I've done a written review. So I'm really curious to hear. I need to do my video review. I'm waiting for a trailer to come out so I can
Yeah.
finally do that.
Yeah.
But those are the ones I would choose. And if I was going female, Karen I
Carrie
can't-
Kusama.
Thank you.
Deep
Yes.
breaths. Deep breaths.
Yes. And then obviously the obvious choice. I mean, you could throw Denis Villeneuve in there, but I don't want him touching it. He's already doing something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now when we come to actors, though, Sebastian Stan as Jack,
Okay.
Sebastian Stan as Jack, and Andrew Ryan as Mads Mikkelsen.
Who's
Ooh.
Andrew Ryan?
He's the main guy who I'm trying because I don't want to spoil the.
You don't want to
twist. He's the guy-
spoil,
He's
yeah.
the guy who created Rapture.
Rapture, yeah.
Oh, okay. He's the character in the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
one that you see. The one you actually.
Because you said Andrew Ryan as Matt Mikkelsen and not Mads
Oh,
Mikkelsen as Andrew
Mads
Ryan.
Mikkelsen as Andrew Ryan.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I was
that.
like, there's
Okay.
called Mads
And then
Mikkelsen.
and then of course I would need a Bioshock Infinite, and that would be to play Booker DeWitt. I would want Armie Hammer, and to play
Okay.
Elizabeth, I would either want Daisy Ridley or get this, Ruth Negga.
Hmm.
I think she's such a fantastic actress. I want more from her. After Preacher, after Love, was it Loving? Was it Loving? Yeah, after Loving,
Love.
I definitely want more
I
from
still
her.
gotta
So
finish Preacher.
Preachers, I do too, dude. I still do too. I think the second season's perfect. The third season kind of lost me in the beginning, to be honest.
I love the third season. I only need to watch the fourth one. I
Oh,
finished
okay.
everything.
Oh wait. Sorry, I forgot. I thought 3 was the. I haven't seen 4. I loved 3. I thought 3 was
Yeah.
perfect. 4.
Second one kind of lost me too.
Yeah, I really like the first one because I love the comic book.
Yeah.
I really like the first one as like a prequel to the comic. The second one was good, but didn't move as fast as I thought it would. 3 was fantastic and perfect. And 4, I watched the first 3 and liked it, but I mean, it's pretty close to the comic, but I think they should have changed some things.
Okay, I haven't watched it at all. But, I didn't catch it. But you do Bioshock as a movie or a TV show?
I think it works better as a movie.
Mm.
Okay.
I
So a
think you could.
trilogy.
I think you could spin it off. To be
Okay.
honest, I think you could spin it off into a show and go into Rapture. And I think it only not even a trilogy, just 2 movies: Bioshock
Mm.
and Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah,
All right.
there's no need to do a Bioshock 2 movie. It wouldn't work as
Okay.
well.
No,
All right.
and
But I
show
agree.
a show. I think it would be overextending too much.
Yeah, I don't think the story really fits the narrative that a show
Yeah,
where there's no really like end point. It is kind of just one story, and that's why I agree with you. I think it does fit a lot better as a
yeah,
movie, despite it being a bit longer, but it fits that bill a bit more than it would for kind of a diced up TV series.
totally. Yeah. So
Alrighty. And those are
anyway,
our pitches, everybody. I haven't played either of your games, gentlemen, but I really want to now,
I
especially
can't.
honestly
Ren,
Outlast.
Ren,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Bioshock is like right up your alley.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
If you want to play
Okay.
a game first, you should do Bioshock. Fuck Last of Us. Play Bioshock first.
yeah.
I'm
That's a
not even
first.
joking.
Okay.
I'm really not even joking. You should seriously play Bioshock first.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm
And
going to
and
Absolutely.
try and
literally,
find it.
what you should do is do Bioshock and then go straight into Bioshock Infinite. Don't even worry about
Okay.
two. Two's fun, but
Mm-hmm.
Bioshock Infinite is like the
Yeah.
actual direct sequel to it.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 is just almost more like a spin-off game. It's fun, but it's like, it's kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
All right, I will do so. Again, thank you for your pitches. I will look forward to playing those games. What did you guys think? If you are watching us, listening to us, let us know what would your pitch be. What was your favorite pitch that we gave? And gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Brett, you're actually our first guest to start the episode already as a knight of this roundtable because you were already on the show before. You're the second guest to ever come back, but you're here as a knight from the beginning. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you again for this past Sunday. And where can the people find you online?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at BAMTube TV. And I also just want to say thank you to both of you for this opportunity. It was so much fun to get down and sit down and chat with you guys, especially even the live watch too was awesome, and this possibly even better. It was such a good time. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for being here. It's our pleasure. And Zach, my good friend, where can the people find you and what are you up to?
You guys can't find me on Pornhub. I can definitely tell you that. But you guys can find me over on Zach Pope. Just type that in on YouTube. You find me, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. And what I'm up to is watching a bunch of stuff and trying to keep myself sane by doing videos. I tell myself I'm only going to do like 3 or 4 videos a week, and then I end up doing 7. And that's, that's how it goes all the time. But it's fun in that part. I just posted a review for Hollywood. Please go check that out because everyone's shitting on the series and they shouldn't because it's a fun series. And if you don't like it, then you can fuck off.
All right. Thank you again, Brett. Thank you, Zach. And you guys can find me on Tinder and Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, everywhere at Ren Geekness. Thank you once more for watching or listening to us, whether on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, whatever. We'll be back very soon. And I'm actually doing my first ever ranking video this week. I'll be ranking all 46 movies in the $1 Billion Club. I'm still making that list, but it should go up sometime after this episode. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you both for being here with me. Until the next episode, love each other and love the movies.